Dear students, I am Dr. A.S. Govind, HOD of Physics from Vijaya College. This is lecture Molecular Physics Part 3. In Part 1, we have discussed the pure vibration spectra, and in Part 2, we have discussed the pure rotation spectra. And now in Part 3, we will combine the two and discuss the rotation vibration spectra. So first we will revise whatever we have discussed about the pure vibration and rotation spectra. So the summary of the pure rotation spectra. This was discussed in the part 1. So the first concept, the total energy is the sum of the electron energy, vibration energy and rotation energy, and all the three energies are quantized. And one more important thing to remember is the difference in energies are in this order. Electron energies are very huge. Vibrational energies are much less than that. Rotational energies are still almost 100 times less than that. So if you want to imagine that as a diagram, electron energies can be taken this big. Electron energies can be taken like that. Let us say something like that. And vibrational energies can be something like this. And rotational energies will be much smaller than that. So that is the way you have to imagine the energy differences. So that is the second point to be remembered. And we consider a diatomic molecule as two masses connected by a rigid rod. We don't consider any variation of distance because we are considering the pure rotation spectrum. And in the diagram, masses are m1, m2, Cm is the center of mass, and the distance from center of mass to each mass is r1, r2, r0 is the total distance. And the energies are calculated. This is already explained in lecture 1. So you will get E by Hc is denoted as Ej, and it is h by 8 pi square Ic into j plus 1. J is the rotational quantum number, and that constant h by 8 pi square Ic is called denoted as B. Now what we notice is when we substitute values for j equals 1, 2, 3, 4 and all, we will notice that energies are not equally spaced. And for transition, selection rule is delta J is plus or minus 1, and for absorption it should be plus 1. That means the electron goes from lower energy to higher energy, and therefore the spectrum is a result of difference in energy delta Ej, which is Ej plus 1 difference Ej. And when you substitute and simplify, you will get the new bar J, that is the wave number, as delta Ej 2b into J plus 1. And we notice that frequencies are equally spaced. Energy level diagram is as shown. So first notice that energies are not equally spaced. If you take the lowest as 0 with J equals 0, the next is 2b. So if b is the unit, it is 2, and this is 6. That means this difference is 4, and this difference is 6. So that shows that energies are not equally spaced. And when there is a transition, this is 2, this is 4, this is 6, like that. So you will get 2, 4, 6 like that. That means the frequencies are having equal spacing. That is, the difference between frequencies is same. So that is the summary of the pure rotation spectra. Now going further for the summary of the pure vibration spectra, diatomic molecule is taken as two masses connected by a spring. In the previous one, it was taken as two masses connected by a rigid rod. Now we take it as a spring because we want to consider the vibration of the molecules. So that is a diagrammatic representation. K is the force constant of the spring. And classically, we'll get the expression frequency is 1 by 2 pi root of K by mu, where mu is the reduced mass, product of mass divided by the sum. And according to quantum mechanics, we'll get the vibrational energy is V plus half of h nu. Nu is the frequency, V is the vibrational quantum number. If you put V equals 0, notice that you won't get zero energy, you will get half h nu. That is called 0 point energy. And when you substitute V as different values, you will notice that the energy levels are equally spaced. Selection rule delta V is plus or minus 1, and similar to the previous one, pure rotation spectra, we will study the absorption, and therefore delta V is plus 1. And when you substitute, because the energies are equally spaced, any successive difference will be equal, and therefore it will result in a single frequency. And one important thing to remember, symmetric molecules like N2H2O2 do not exhibit both pure rotation or pure vibration spectrum. Unsymmetric molecules exhibit, and a special example like CO2 we have taken, that exhibits vibration spectra because of unsymmetric vibrations, even though the molecule is symmetric. And this is the energy level diagram for different values of V. V equals 0, 1, like that you can substitute, and you will get different values of energy. And notice that the spacing is equal, and any transition successive is only possible because of selection rule, and therefore it results in a single frequency. Now we go to the combined rotation vibration spectra. So now there is an important thing to remember. Molecules in solid or liquid state do not freely rotate due to strong mutual interactions. That is, if molecules are free as like a gas, then it will not be solid or liquid. So to become a solid or liquid, the bonding between them should be quite strong, and therefore they are not very free to rotate. And therefore they exhibit only pure vibrational spectra. Molecules in gas or vapor state can vibrate and rotate simultaneously. And this you have to imagine, how can this happen? So while rotating, it should also vibrate, and therefore it looks like this. So notice that this, any mass will rotate, it goes like this, and also it is vibrating, and therefore it goes like that. So that is the meaning of the diagram. So this results in rotation vibration spectra. Now, how to study that? We can study this by combining whatever we have already studied under pure rotation and pure vibration. So first step is to calculate the combined energy. Total energy is denoted as EVJ, combining rotational EJ and vibrational EV energies. And we have already calculated EV and EJ. So when you substitute vibration and rotation equations, you will get this total. V and J are the corresponding quantum numbers. And one important thing you have to remember here, the vibrational energies are much higher than the rotational energies that we have already seen. And therefore, if you write a energy level diagram, vibrational energies will be quite far apart like that. And rotation, this corresponds to V equals 0, V equals 1, like that. And the rotational energies, you observe that this is almost like 1 electron volt, and rotational energies are very, very small, less than 1/100th of that. And therefore, the rotational energy should be very small like this. It should be very small like that. So therefore, for transitions, we have already seen the selection rule. V equals 0 to 1 for absorption. So while this transition is happening, it can go from any of these vibration levels to any of these levels. And that is what we study in detail further. But for the sake of clarity, we will not write this so small. We will not write it so small. We will just magnify this part a little bit, because if it is written as 1/100th, it won't be visible clearly to show the transitions. So therefore, I will show the energy level diagram as it is usually written. So it is usually written like this. So this corresponds to V equals 0, first set of levels. Next one corresponds to the next set, V equals 1. And these in between lines are corresponding to rotational energy levels. So these are rotational energy levels for one set, and this is for another set. And we have already seen rotational energy levels are not equally spaced. So all those considerations are taken here. We'll discuss the transitions later. So we have just taken the equation in the previous slide. Now we will take some values. So this is the equation. I have rewritten that. And both V and J can vary. So we will vary one at a time and see how it looks. So if you take V as 0, one example, and vary only J, so V is taken as 0 and J is varied, you will get these values. And EVJ is written as V is 0, J 0, first one, V0, J1, it is written as 0, 1, 0, 2, like that. And because V is 0, this is half h nu for each of them. And because that is the lowest one, it is written as half h nu naught. And for j equals 1, 2, 3 here, you will get different values. Now, if you vary the other one, so we will put V equals 1 now and put different values of j. So it is written as E10, 11, 12 like that. So V equals 1 here becomes 1 plus half. So that is 1 plus half here. And J 0. So second part is absent. And because V is 1 for all of them, this part of 3 by 2 h nu naught is same for all of them. This plus J part varies because of different values of J. So these are example values. And now when there is a transition, what happens? So the first thing to remember is ground state energy 0, 0, half h nu naught, what we have seen in the last slide, is already much greater than the thermal energy. Thermal energy is of the order of kT, K is the Boltzmann constant. And therefore, only few molecules are excited at the excited state at room temperature. And we will not consider high temperatures because anyway the molecule will dissociate when you go to very high temperatures. So, another thing, these vibrational energies are much larger than rotational energies, and therefore even at little high temperatures, V equals 0 and 1 states are occupied. So usually we will never get the cases of V becoming 2, 3 and all because that requires much high temperatures. And that is why in our discussions we will consider only V equals 0 and 1. And selection rule, delta V is plus or minus 1, and as we have seen earlier, for absorption it should be lower to higher. So EV to V plus 1. So therefore we'll consider V plus 1 minus V, that is only 1 plus 1 difference, V equals 0 to 1. It cannot be any other as we have already seen. And for selection rule, delta J is plus or minus 1. So observe that because the vibration levels are much higher and the J levels, that is rotation levels, are much smaller, and both J plus 1 minus 1 change are possible here. That's what we have to understand. So the J plus 1 and minus 1, they have names. The minus 1 is called P branch, plus 1 is called R branch. So how does it look when we write in the energy level diagram? We will see that in the next case. That is called P branch. J, notice that decreases by 1. So delta J minus 1 means J decreases by 1. So this you have to observe in the transitions. So now that is shown here. J decreases by 1. So notice each one. We cannot have a transition from 0 because 0 should go to minus 1, which is not available. And therefore we will not start from here. At J equals 1, when you decrease, it should go to 0. So therefore this is the first one. This is 0. This is starting level is 1 here and 0 here. So J has decreased by 1. And it cannot go to any other higher level here because change of J more than 1 is not allowed. So these things are not allowed. And next is therefore starting from 2, it can go to 1. Starting from 3, it can go to 2. Starting from 4, it can go to 3. So all these corresponds to J decreasing by 1, and therefore these frequencies are P branch frequencies. And notice that they will all come here because delta J is minus 1. So that is all explained here. Now notice that V0 J1, V0 J1, that is this level, that goes to V1 J0. This is the transition. So that way it is going from 0J, 0J, the lower level is 0 and any J, and higher level is 1 and J minus 1. So this is the way we have taken. So that is what is explained here. It goes from 0J to 1 and J minus 1. So some examples are given here. So J equals 1, V equals 0. Upper level is J equals 0, V equals 1. That is the first line we have taken. This is J equals 1, V equals 0, the starting level. And the upper level is J equals 0, V equals 1. So similarly, the next one, two examples are given. So that is the P branch. And notice that all the frequencies are less than nu naught. They are coming to the left side in the diagram. And we can verify this by doing the calculation. So this is the total energy equation which I have repeated. And delta E P branch is written as delta EP. It should be upper minus lower. So we have here E0 and J. Upper one is V1 and J minus 1. And transition is going like this. So we have to take the upper minus lower to take the difference. So 1J minus 1, that is this one. 0J is the lower one. And these are the values to be substituted in this equation. So that is what is done in the next step. So observe it carefully. So delta E is h nu, and this part is the E1 J minus 1. So V equals 1 here, and J is written as J minus 1. Next one, V equals 0 here, and J equals J. So therefore, we will get this equation. And now when you simplify this, finally, you will get this answer. So it is h nu naught minus something. So therefore, obviously, this is less than nu naught. Cancelling h, you'll get this. So that is less than nu naught. This is an important thing to remember. P branch frequencies are less than the central frequency. Now we'll consider the next one. For the R branch, J increases by 1. So how does it appear? So notice that V0, J0, that is this one, this level. J should increase by 1. So in the upper level, 0, it should go to 1. J equals 1, V equals 1. So V0, J is the lower level, V1 and J plus 1 is the upper level. So like that, similarly, J equals 1 should go to J equals 2. 2 should go to 3. 3 should go to 4. So all of them, J increases by 1. That is the R branch. So that is explained here. So notice that lower is E0J, as I have said here, and upper is 1J plus 1. 1J plus 1. So here both V and J increase by 1. And these are some example values. And that is the R branch. And you can see that the energies differences are bigger, larger, and all these frequencies are larger than the central frequency. So R branch frequencies are larger than the central. Now we will calculate that as we did earlier. So this is the equation repeated. And similarly, we take the upper minus lower. Upper is V1 J plus 1. Lower is V0 and J. Lower energy is V equals 0 and any value of J. Upper energy is V equals 1, the corresponding J plus 1. And we take the difference. That should be frequency into H, energy. So it is substituted V equals 1, J plus 1, V equals 0 and J. So when you simplify, you'll get this. So notice that it is nu naught plus something and therefore the frequencies are larger. So R branch frequencies are larger than the nu naught. Now we'll consider the spacing between the lines. We repeat the P branch frequency equation, R branch frequency equation. So notice that for successive values of J, so if you alter J here, in both the cases, you are left with only this part, H by 4 pi square I, and therefore the lines are equally spaced. And this equation may be used to find the moment of inertia I of the molecule because that is present here. So if you calculate this value, substitute H pi and all, you will get the value of I. And frequency nu naught is absent since delta J equals 0 is not allowed. That is called Q branch. So the diagram shows the energy levels and the allowed transitions in the previous slide. Now, what is the significance? Carbon dioxide shows infrared absorption lines due to rotation, vibration, energy levels. So whatever you have discussed is exhibited by carbon dioxide, and therefore it is a very effective greenhouse gas. So what is the meaning of that? The solar energy falling on Earth is absorbed by the atmosphere, and when it is re-emitted, majority of that will be in the infrared region, heat radiations, and a layer of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere that will absorb these and therefore keeps the earth warmer. That's called greenhouse effect. And there are many other gases which do that, and CO2 is one of the effective greenhouse gases. Then microwave heater uses a frequency of about 2.5 gigahertz and the corresponding wavelength is about 120 micrometer, and this corresponds to rotation vibration energy levels of water, mainly water and some fat molecules. And because this corresponds to energy levels of water, when you give this frequency, water molecules only will absorb. That is important, only water molecules, because for other molecules the energy levels do not coincide. So water molecules absorb the energy and only water molecules become hot because their rotation vibration energies are increased. So therefore, when you keep any food in the microwave heater, food with water content, that is important. If it is totally dry, then it won't get heated. It gets heated without heating the container because the container may be made of some solid and energy levels of that will not agree with this kind of frequencies. So that is the advantage. Then infrared spectrum gives information about the type of molecular bonding, and IR spectra is a very important tool for finding the molecular structure. Now we will take the summary of that, whatever we have learned in this lecture. Molecules in gas and vapor state, they exhibit rotation vibration spectra. Combined energy EVJ is sum of EV and EJ. V is the vibrational quantum number, J is the rotational quantum number. And when you calculate the values and show it diagrammatically, it appears like this. And delta V is plus or minus 1 is a selection rule. For absorption, delta V is plus 1. Delta J, both plus 1 minus 1, both are possible. P branch corresponds to delta J decreasing by 1. R branch corresponds to delta J increasing by 1. And when you calculate the frequencies, P branch frequencies are less than this nu naught. So notice that nu naught is shown by a dotted line, which means it is absent. So all these are lesser values, and R branch frequencies are higher than the nu naught. And the frequencies, that is the lines, notice that the gap between these lines, they are all equal. So frequencies are equally spaced both in R branch and P branch. Nu naught is absent because delta J equals 0 is not allowed. So notice that if you go from 0 to 0, you will get that nu naught, and that is not allowed. Similarly, if you go from 1 to 1, 2 to 2 and all, you will get same frequency, and any such transition is not allowed. That is also called Q branch, which is not allowed. So now all the lectures together will give the molecular spectra in 3 parts. Part 1, pure rotation spectra. Part 2, we have discussed the pure vibration spectra. In this lecture, part 3, we have discussed the combined rotation vibration spectra. And in the next lecture, part 4, we will discuss the scattering of light and Raman effect. And all the 4 lectures together is according to the 6th semester BSc syllabus of Bangalore Central University. So you can go back to those lectures if you want to revise them, and then go to this lecture. Now practice also doing the numericals, and if you want to observe any of these slides carefully, you can always go back, pause it and all. And if you like this, you can like and share the YouTube channel. Thank you.